In China, there is a mysterious team. When the night is silent, they are still wearing their badges, lurking about under your home, carefully attentive to any possibility of danger. When married couples get into a fight, they appear at the site immediately from 1,000 miles away, and with their silken tongues, calm down the battlefield. When the world is at peace and you're studying anime at home, they repeatedly press your doorbell and request that you fill out a census form with your residence and employment details, or simply ask to see your water meter. When you run off your legs for your proof of temporary residence, your birth certificate, your proof of temporary residence, or your level 4 English certificate, they elegantly pull out a magic red stamp from their broken desk drawer, and with a cool press, all of your troubles are resolved, and they even smile, concealing their brilliance. They are the legendary Neighborhood Committee Aunties. The Neighborhood Committee Aunties have already become synonymous with the mysterious department of the Neighborhood Committee. But do you understand the Neighborhood Committee like you do the Aunties? Haha, naive. The Neighborhood Committee is the blood capillary of National Public Service and is primarily responsible for providing benefits to each and every household. Public toilets, public security and mediation, labor employment, special care and relief, family planning, youth education, population census, management of external population, etc. All of these are within the range of its services.
实在是居家旅行，杀人灭口，必备两路。
Wait, I mean, it's able to secure your livelihood. Because our lands are vast and population great, with an abundance of resources, since Pongu separated heaven and earth and Nuwa made people from mud, we have always been practicing the innate skill of grassroots governance. In the spring and autumn era, they established borough wardens. In the Qin and Han, they had managing clerks. Later, it became rougher, and if your neighbor did something wrong, you'd suffer in unity under the Baojia system. Following the establishment of New China, the government decided to resettle Chinese society, and therefore developed an entirely new social structure. For people in the country, the production teams would be in charge. For people in the city, the work units would be in charge. Well, then what about those in the cities without work units? Leave it to the Neighborhood Committee. So the main work of the Neighborhood Committee Aunties then was to wear their red bands and fix their sights on those non-working young men to make sure that they don't trick others into being unable to work as well. But that's all a thing of the past. The Neighborhood Committee of today is a whole different thing. Along with the reforms to state-owned enterprises and property ownership, and coupled with the rapid growth of the economy, the function of work units experienced an enormous drop, and no longer were people tied up into specific positions by their work units. If you don't like this company, then just quit and ride your bike to Lhasa, the previous acquaintance society of 50-year housing when everyone lived in the same large courtyard. When you grew a mole on your butt and I knew about it, now we live in a stranger society, in which we move in and out, in which you don't even know if the person in the 200-story apartment complex next door is male or female. Now, the Neighborhood Committee plays an unprecedented and important role. Previously, if your husband had an affair, you'd go to the leader of the work unit and file a lawsuit. Then the matter would be resolved. Now, he's a CEO or a general manager without even the time for his mistresses, so what do? Go see the Neighborhood Committee Aunties. In the past, if you wanted an introductory letter you need to get from your work unit, now, see the Neighborhood Committee Aunties. In the past, a young boy who couldn't stand being single anymore after 20 years would go to see an elder sister at the work unit for an introduction. Now, go on if you are the one. Of course, you can go see the Neighborhood Committee Aunties too. The Neighborhood Committee of today is like the work unit of yesterday. People must develop, society must develop, and the people's development depends on the public services that a society can provide. The Community Residence Committee is not the warden or constable of the past, nor is it the Neighborhood Committee Aunties from the movies of the past century, but it is a characteristically Chinese path. Grassroots governance and public services are inherent functions of the people's government. With the advancement of equalized public services, should we realize the comprehensive provision of technology services, medical and public health services, public security, culture and education, information, etc., to the grassroots of society, who can say it's not a flourishing age?